morning to Nathan Kwao.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to Kojo Boating.
Hello,
Big man.
Ski.
Don't just shout, give me money.
Charlie, I'm chow momo.
Chami Momo cry.
I'm chow momo. Straight cry.
And when he comes, his voice is like,
So me chow momo is here for me, Peter.
Charlie.
I'm chow momo.
Too good.
Follow excellence and success will chase you pants down.
I tell you.
Yes, I am.
Aloski.
Yeah.
Wakasa.
Charlie, shit.
Where Bema?
Yeah, man.
I was
But
saying,
you know-
baby.
But you know, there's one thing I won't say though.
Yeah.
As I watched the thing, I kept laughing because
Right.
I could tell that you were just not used to the structured speech.
Charlie. I wanted to open fire, but they said, Charlie, just you read the thing in front of you. You know, it's part of growth. You have to discipline yourself.
I've sent you momo.
Yeah.
I get that.
I've sent you momo.
Let me
For
check.
sure reason, I've sent you momo.
Payment of mobile
I've
money.
sent you momo.
Let me check.
Aloski.
Payment received for 5 Ghana cedis
Aloski.
from Joseph Kojo Akoto Boating. Transaction ID is there, 5 Ghana cedis, and the reference is Aloski. Kojo, thank you, 5 cedis. I know what to do with it. Anyway, gentlemen, it's good to have you.
Buy Eco Juice.
Let's get into the newspapers. let's get into the newspapers. We don't have time.
The Daily Graphic says ECG to replace equipment receives $130 million from government. Rural telephony project to bridge digital divide launched. Illicit arms destroyed in Second D. And today is Farmers Day.
Hey.
Yes, today is Farmers Day. On the front page of the Ghanaian Times, national interest must override partisanship. Kandapa advises political parties. 1,200 illegal small arms destroyed in Sekunde. Nation honors farmers, fishers today, and 2021 census to cost 521 million Ghana cedis.
The Daily Guide says, vote Nana to keep lights on.
Hey. That sounds like a threat.
NDC group condemns Amidu. Takrady girl's picture found on kidnapper's mobile phone.
Can you imagine?
$330 million Bankra Inland project takes off, and politicians fueling false insecurity notion.
They keep your lights on stories on the front page of the Chronicle. Retain NPP to keep your lights on. This is John Peter Amewu.
Okay.
The government has paid all debts owed ECG. Kojo Opon Nkrumah. I am honest and truthful. Vote for me. This is Nana Akufo-Addo, the president. And politicians are creating non-existent fear and panic. Kandapa.
And the Daily Statesman has the $330 million Bankra Port project story on their front page. And it says Akufo-Addo is actualizing Kufuor's vision. Mahama must be investigated over Airbus bribery scandal. Asepa charges Amidu. And Ghana honors farmers, fishermen today.
Okay.
President Akufo-Addo cuts sword for $330 million Bankra Inland Port projects. This is the finder. Government gives ECG $130 million for efficient, stable power supply. John Peter Amewu is on the front page. President Akufo-Addo commissions Asokore Mampo affordable housing project finally. And Hassan Tampoli targets 45,000 votes on December 7.
The Herald says minister wants Amidu to resign for indicting government in a Japan deal. Unpaid Ghana heavy equipment workers want CEO sacked. EC boss disrespects parliament again, and Cows Group distances itself from gold smugglers.
On the EC matters, the new Crusading Guide says EC to present roadmap for peaceful election to Parliament on Saturday. There is no truth in the story. This is Dr. Bosman reacting to the $17 million Pink Sheet contract saga. International community passes resolution calling for global action to save Etiwa. This is big. And election 2020, electoral violence, we are ready to provide adequate security, Kandapa assures as he briefs Parliament.
Okay. Let me take you online. CityNewsroom.com. 3 die in fire after loaded truck collides with tricycle at Angloga Junction. Also, fire guts Cathedral Clinic and Lab in Accra. Meanwhile, EC says, we didn't snap Parliament. The invitation came late. An independent candidate gives NDC 48-hour ultimatum to prove his membership. Baby. Still on the City Newsroom website, Akufo-Addo commissions Asokore Mampo affordable housing project, and Ghana will have a violence-free election, according to the Commission of Small Arms. We go to City Business News. Gold production, Ghana's gold production to go up by 9% next year, according to Fitch. Also, NEDS will boost Ghana's participation in AFTA, according to the Trade Ministry. MyJoyOnline.com, same story. 3 burned to death after truck collides with tricycle at Angloga Junction. Also, come clean on type of gun seized at Tema Harbour. Security analyst charges government. Meanwhile, over 1,000 interdicted weapons destroyed in Sekondi by the Small Arms Commission. If you go to Star News, again, 3 burned to death in Angloga Junction accident. Also, listen to this. 538 aggrieved toilet contractors petition Mahama over non-payment.
Hey.
Meanwhile, Amewu accuses Mahama of suffocating the energy sector with debts. And globally, everybody is talking about the election in the U.S. And the lead stories, for example, CNN says Biden nears 270. The Democrat is closing the gap with Trump in Pennsylvania, and the two are nearly tied in historically red Georgia. BBC also has a similar story. Trump repeats voting fraud claims without evidence. In the New York Times, also, Biden adds votes in Pennsylvania and Georgia as count trickles in. Hopefully, we'll know by close of day who has won that election.
The story you wrote about toilet pushers just reminded me. Yesterday, I saw a waste truck with the president and the vice president photos on. And it said, free baller.
Very interesting.
What we are doing to win elections. Anyway, the Ghanaian Times has a special supplement on the Farmers' Day today. Captures a lot of stories. Ghana honors gallant farmers today. Another headline in it says, COVID-19 rekindles Operation Feed Yourself. And this story basically is talking about people doing backyard farming and trying to grow their own food to feed themselves. It has a picture of Mr. Papo. He's a journalist, Fred Papo. You remember? Or is it Thomas Papo? He's here with his aubergine from his garden, and the story is basically saying that we should all go into some kind of backyard gardening. Now, there's an interesting story. Review the criteria for National Best Farmer Award to benefit women and smallholder farmers.
Okay.
This is the Peasant Farmers Association speaking. Now, the story says the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana congratulates all smallholder farmers in Ghana, especially women, who were the most impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. And they are calling for the country to review the criteria so that smallholder farmers and more women can win National Farmers' Day awards.
Okay, let's talk about electricity. That's on the front page of the Daily Graphic. Now, ECG to replace equipment, and it has received $130 million from government. And the story says government has released $130 million to the Electricity Company of Ghana to replace all obsolete equipment within its line of operation. And there's a quote that's from John Peter Mewe, and it says, quote, if the equipment is replaced, it will add value, transform power faster, reduce losses, and make power cheaper for consumers. Now, this was said by the Energy Minister, who was speaking at the 8th edition of the Nation Building Updates in Accra on the theme, quote, keeping the lights on, powering our growth, end quote. And he said the ECG had been working with obsolete equipment over the last 30 years or so.
Now, a related story. The same minister, the energy minister, has called on Ghanaians to retain the NPP to guarantee that there will be no recurrence of the power crisis, popularly known as Dumso. According to him, it was thoughtful to have this government, which has been able to sustain the power since it took office, to be allowed to continue than to bring in one who took the nation into the dark days. Now, Kojo Oponkroma is also on page 2 of the Chronicle, and it says that the government has paid all the debts owed ECG.
Okay.
The story says the government has cleared all its liabilities to the Electricity Company of Ghana. The Minister for Information, Kojo Oponkroma, has announced. And as of 2016, the total debt was over 2 billion Ghana cedis. And according to the minister, he even understands there is some credit, which means the manager of the nation's power now owes the government. So this means that the IPPs are also getting paid. This means that companies like Ghana Gas
Hopefully
should also be getting paid, and everyone else should be getting paid so that the system is.
Let's do a roundup of
sound.
campaign stories, starting with the MPP again. Akufo-Addo cuts out for $330 million Buankra Inland Port. That story is on citynewsroom.com.
It's
Also here.
Yes.
as well.
So read your version,
So
and then
this
we'll
is
go
on,
to NDC2.
pages 24, 25. And the president yesterday cut the sword for work to continue on the abundant Buankra Inland Port project in the Ashanti region. The project, which has been renamed the Buankra Integrated Logistics Terminal, is expected to be completed in 3 years and will be managed by the Ashanti Ports Service Limited, APSL, which is a consortium of Ghanaian and Korean companies. The companies are Afum Quality Limited of Ghana and DSS Associates of South Korea. And the concessionaire, ASPL, is expected to inject $330 million into the project and operate it for a period of 30 years, after which it will be handed over to the government of Ghana.
Then, Kojo, we're still talking issues around the country. If you go to other websites.
Yes, I think we should look at the 2021 census and go into the elections, because the amount being mentioned, 521 million Ghana cedis. This is something we've all been looking forward to. And the story says that the government is expected to spend 521 million cedis on the 2021 population and housing census. This is according to the government statistician, Professor Enim. Now, this represents an increase of 43 million Ghana cedis from the earlier approved cost of 478 million Ghana cedis for the exercise, which was postponed from March 15 this year. At a Ghana Statistical Service and Development Partners meeting in Accra yesterday, Professor Enim said the increase was due to the outbreak of COVID-19 in the country, which resulted in the need for personal protective equipment as well as restructuring of training for the census officials. The additional cost is primarily due to plans to purchase PPE and other safety clothes for our 75,000 officers who will be on the field to collect data.
Amidu should stop patronizing us and prosecute Mahama if he has evidence. This is Roxin Dafia Mekpa on my journal line. MP for South Dai constituency says the special prosecutor should prosecute the former president if he indeed has evidence that the latter engaged in corrupt activities while in office. According to the MP, Amidu is patronizing Ghanaians with his excuses on why former President Mahama is yet to be interrogated on the Airbus bribery scandal. Speaking on the Super Money Show yesterday, he said Mr. Amidu postponing investigations because of the 2020 elections gives the impression that highly placed people in society cannot face the law when they commit a crime. That's why he took that stance. Now, let's continue with other stories. If you
if you go to page 6 of the Daily Guide, there's something on the Takrady girls case. And a photograph of one of the 4 missing girls in Takrady was found on one of the mobile phones retrieved from the room of one of the Nigerian kidnappers on trial in connection with the killing of the girls. According to Detective Chief Inspector Dorcas Asare of the CID, it was Priscilla Mantibia Cranchi whose picture was found in Samuel Odutok Wills's room. Detective Asare, who is the 23rd prosecution witness in the case, told a secondary high court presided over by Justice Richard Ajay Frimpong that some mobile phones were retrieved from the room of Wills as part of the investigations into the case.
Still on campaigning, 538 aggrieved toilet contractors petition Mahama over non-payment. This is Star FM Online. 538 aggrieved contractors of Ghana First Company have presented a petition to the flagbearer of the NDC, John Mahama, over government's failure to facilitate their payment. The contractors presented a petition to Mr. Mahama at a whistle stop at Inchenwa in the Okre constituency in the Eastern region as part of his 4-day campaign tour, which commenced today. Mr. Mahama called on President Akufo-Addo to pay the contractors. He accused the government of deliberately collapsing and stifling businesses in the country since assuming office, and said the situation had led to job losses and hardship. Now, Ghana First Company is a waste management company owned by Frank Akule. We are told he's a staunch member of the MPP with his German partners, signing a PPP with government in 2018 through the local government ministry to construct 20,000 units of modern automated toilets across the metropolitan and tourist assemblies across the country. The company was awarded the first batch of 2,000 toilet facilities on contract, but they are yet to be paid. This is what is leading them to petition Mahama. Now let me take you to Kumasi. 3 die in fire after loaded truck collides with tricycle at Anglonga Junction. So there are 2 fire stories. That's one. There's another one in Accra. 3 persons have been burnt to death after a loaded truck collided with a tricycle at Anglonga Junction in Kumasi. According to eyewitnesses, the loaded truck failed its brake and hit the tricycle. As a result, all the occupants in the tricycle got burnt and died instantly. Speaking to City News, an eyewitness, Pawili, described the events leading to the fire. He says, "We were standing around the junction when we noticed 2 people who got down from a bus and entered into the tricycle. The tricycle driver used a one-way road and crashed into a trailer that was coming in the opposite direction with a failed brake. The trailer dragged the tricycle close to where I am standing, or where I stood, and upon reaching there, the tricycle got engulfed in flames. When the trailer realized the tricycle was in flames, he reversed the car, got down with his mate. The car has now been towed from the scene, and the burnt bodies have been handed to an ambulance by the police. So that's fire story 1. Fire story 2. Fire guts Cathedral Clinic and Lab in Accra, also on citynewsroom.com. The Cathedral Clinic and Lab on the Atamils High Street has been gutted by fire. According to eyewitnesses, the cause of the fire is not known, as they only saw smoke emanating from the health facility around 6 p.m. Thursday. Speaking to City News, one of the eyewitnesses, Ransford Tanda, said he was on his way to the clinic when he saw from afar the facility was on fire. The boys around called the fire service, who arrived a little later. Unfortunately, they didn't have enough water, and although they called for backup, the backup also delayed, allowing the fire to spread.
Wow.
So those are 2 stories, and there are videos showing that fire as well.
Now, Anloga Junction thing, it used to happen a lot because
Is it the way the place
from
is shaped?
Ofori Chrome down to Anloga Junction is a slope, so you descend. From Afonkwanta down to Anloga Junction, it's a slope, you descend. So Anloga Junction is the lowest point between those two. I remember back then, vehicles would always, brakes will fail and they'll run into something.
Okay.
Wow.
Let's talk about the
Very sad.
EC and Parliament. They didn't go yesterday. People
Yes,
are angry with them.
and the report says they are going on Saturday.
Yes.
That's what we have being reported by the news.
Well, what we have is we didn't snap Parliament. The invitation came in late, according to the Electoral Commission. This is City Newsroom. The EC said it received the invitation to be in Parliament late on Wednesday, and as such, it is taken aback by claims that it deliberately refused to honor the invitation by the law-making body.
And the new Weekend Crusading guy says they'll go to Parliament tomorrow, which is Saturday, to brief the House on their plans. Now, more on the EC and the elections. Purported $17 million pink sheet contract. There is no truth in the story. This is Dr. Bosman speaking. This is also in the new Weekend Crusading guide. The story says Deputy Chairman of the EC in charge of corporate services, Dr. Bosman Eric Asari, has debunked a story being spread about in sections of the media that he's scheming for Aerovote, a company, to be a subcontractor to print pink sheet, and he says it's not true. But the Minister of National Security has also been speaking. Mr. Kandapa says that adequate measures are being instituted to ensure a violent-free election in Ghana before, during, and after the December 7 general elections. He has also intimated that the National Election Security Task Force is ready to provide adequate security against potential electoral violence and all acts of lawlessness. Now, as he speaks about the election, I think that construction on the Wager Ridge, construction on the Bree Mountains and all those areas are also a national security issue. And the national security must be working on some of these things to protect the environment and to protect people.
Anything else before we go to the U.S.?
International community passes resolution calling for global action to save Etiwa. This is one of the stories in the new Weekend Crusading guide. Members of the International Union for Conservation of Nature on Wednesday, November 4, 2020, voted overwhelmingly to adopt Motion 103, calling for urgent measures to safeguard the globally important Etiwa forest in Ghana. The motion becomes a formal IUCN resolution, giving Ghana a clear message that the Etiwa forest must be withdrawn from the planned bauxite mining and protected as a national park. The motion was brought by Arocha Ghana with co-sponsors and IUCN members, the Development Institute, Benin Environment and Education Society, Nature Tropical, international IUCN members, Arocha International, WWF, BirdLife International, Global Wildlife Conservation, Rainforest Trust, and others to the body for this decision to be taken.
Okay, if you go to page 20 of the Daily Graphic, it says the National Commission on Small Arms and Light Weapons yesterday destroyed about 1,194 seized illicit small arms from various crime scenes in the Western and Western North regions. This year's weapons destruction program, the Commission said, comprised 94.9% of foreign-made weapons and 5.1% of locally made ones. And Mr. Jones Aple, who's Executive Secretary of the Commission, reminded the public that security was a shared responsibility, hence the need to volunteer information on arms to the security agencies.
Let's end with the U.S. So I'm giving you some quick summary of what's happening. So there are 4 states now in the balance: Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Nevada, Arizona, actually 5. So in Georgia, about 50,000 votes are yet to be counted, which is 1% of the total votes cast. President Trump is currently leading with 1,900 votes difference. And Trump needs to win at least Georgia or Pennsylvania, if he's to have any chance of getting the White House back. In other states like Pennsylvania, over 700,000 votes are still to be counted. That's about 10%. Trump is narrowly ahead, but his margin is getting cut down by the hour as Joe Biden makes a late charge to pick up votes in his hometown state. If Trump doesn't win Pennsylvania, the race is over. So those are the key issues there in the U.S. election. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time on the Newspaper Review. Coming up next, City Business News.